going to be a big season for Big Blue this year. The expectations are right now, I would say, I wouldn't say through the roof, but they're certainly higher than they've been in quite some time for the Giants. Obviously, with a new coach in John Harbaugh, he brings over a Hall of Fame pedigree to the ball club from after 18 years in Baltimore with the Ravens, a Super Bowl title as well. Can he get this franchise back moving in the right direction? It's been a very long time. And yes, the Giants did have a playoff season under Brian Dable in his first season back in 2022. But really, outside of that, for the better part of the last decade, the Giants have been a bad football team and a bad organization. Now they bring in Harbaugh, and the hope is that he can get this thing turned around fairly quickly and going in the right direction. Can he get it turned around in year number one? We'll find out. I will say this before we go into this schedule. It's a schedule that starts off, in my opinion, fairly well for the Giants, but the second half, especially the last 6 games, are going to be tough. So let's go right at it and see how this thing's going to break out. So here we go. We all know that the Giants are going to start this season against the Dallas Cowboys. We talked about that on Monday, of course. Really no surprise that this was going to be the opening game on Sunday night. Dallas is a ratings magnet. People, no matter how bad the Cowboys may be, how mediocre they are going to draw eyeballs regardless. And you have that coupled with the debut of Harbaugh as the Giants coach, a Giants team with high expectations. People want to find out who they are, and this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game and very close. I could see the Giants getting a win to start the season. And if they do that, boy, what a start to the year for Big Blue in 2026. Week 2, again, the Giants are going to get a lot of primetime games. Primetime now in L.A. on a Monday night. ESPN now wants to get their chance to see what the Giants are all about. This will be tough for Big Blue because the Rams are going to be coming off of not only a long road trip to Australia, which of course has its own pitfalls for the Rams, but they will have at least 10 days off to get ready for this game, whereas the Giants are only going to have a week. So that's going to play into the favor of the Rams. Plus, it's their home opener. It's a tough spot for the Giants. I will say it's a loss. Week 3 against the Tennessee Titans. Not only is Robert Saleh, a former Jets head coach, of course, over there as the head coach of now the Titans, he brought over former Giants head coach Brian Dable with him. Dable now the offensive coordinator. So this is a homecoming game really for both. But since it's the Giants, of course, we're going to talk about Dable in this game. This is a game I could see the Giants finding a way to get a victory in, and they'll get to 2-1. Week 4 against Arizona, that's a win right there. Giants now 3-1 to start the season. Week 5 against the Washington Commanders. Bit of a tricky game here. I don't expect Washington to be as bad as they were last year. Jaden Daniels is coming back off of injury. I'm not saying Washington is going to be as good as they were 2 years ago when they went to the NFC Championship game, but I think this is a tricky spot for the Giants in Week 5. I'll say it's a loss. Week 6 against the Saints, I fully expect the Giants to go right ahead and get the win against the Saints there. And then finally, Week 7, you saw me click it there for a loss for the Giants against the Eagles. This is really one of the big games of the year. I'm surprised that none of the Eagle games got primetime. The big quote by Harbaugh once he got the job saying that the focus of the team is to go ahead and find a way to beat the Eagles. They're the team to beat in this division. Well, we'll see how the Giants match up against them with Harbaugh as their head coach. Last year, the Giants beat the Eagles in this very spot in Week 6 or Week 7, in an upset on a Thursday night. I think the Eagles are going to have the Giants are going to have the Eagles' attention this time around. So that's why I say this time it might be a little bit tougher and it will be a loss. So you go into the bye week, you're 4-3. Out of the bye week against the Texans, again, tricky spot, good defense, really good defense. I will say that's a loss for the Giants in week number 9. Now they're 4-4. And now against the Commanders again, it's a Thursday night at home. I will say the Giants split that series with Washington. They get the win. Now you're 5-4. And now you go into week 11. I think this is a swing game of swing games. And look, the Jaguars are great last year. Can they recapture that magic again this year? We'll find out. I think this is a game that could be a swing game. could propel the Giants to big things this year if they get a win. If they lose, it could be the start of a downfall in the second half of the year that could keep them out of the postseason. So this is a tricky game, very tricky game in my mind to pick. You got Trevor Lawrence, you got Jackson Dart. Of course, you have a very good offensive team led by Liam Cohen there in Jacksonville. This will not be an easy one. I will say, though, the Giants being at home gives them an edge, and I'll say the Giants get the win. Week 12 against the Colts. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? I'll say the Giants win. 49ers. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, folks, because this is where it really starts to get tough. You got the 49ers, you got Seattle, you got Dallas, you got Detroit, you got Philadelphia coming down the stretch here. This is where the Giants are going to have to make their money here in 2026. So, against the 49ers, tough spot. Now, the Giants had a tough time against San Francisco last year. Can it be a little bit different this time around? We'll have to wait and see. Will Brock Purdy be healthy this time around for the 49ers? You imagine they would be. I will say it's a loss, but I mean, it's not impossible the Giants can win this game, but I'll say it's a loss to San Francisco. Seattle, that's going to be very difficult. Assuming that Seattle's going to be as good as they were last year, the defending Super Bowl champions, this is a tough spot for the Giants. That is a loss. So 2 straight losses, and now the Giants sit here at 7-6 with 4 games to go. And you got that game against the Browns. It's a game the Giants should win. Now, of course, you have the Todd Monken storyline as well. That's a big part of this. Of course, he could have been the offensive coordinator for the Giants, but I say the Giants get the win over the Browns. Now, Detroit, and I click it really quickly there. I gave it a loss. It's a Monday night game, Christmas week. Again, tough spot for the Giants. It's, again, first year of a new program, very tough spot against the experienced Lions team. I will say it's a loss for the Giants as they now drop at the time here to 8-7. 8-7 with 2 weeks to go, and both games against their toughest rivals in the division, the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. What will happen here? It's in Dallas. Anything can happen. I will say that the Giants end up splitting with Dallas this year, and it's a loss. They get to 8-8, and then Philadelphia again at home. Can the Giants finish the season at home with a win against the Eagles? Can they get that win? They could. I could see it. And they could finish over 500. But at the same time, if the Eagles need that game for the division, if they need that game for playoff positioning, it could get tough. So this is a tough spot. And the Giants have been very good at home, according to our schedule here, with 7 victories up to this point, and only 1 win on the road, which is kind of weird. But that's how these predictions go sometimes. I will say the Eagles get the win. Sorry, Giant fans. And the Giants finish 8-9 on the year. Again, this is our first look at the schedule. We haven't gotten to training camp. I'll say this. As the schedule right now, as it sits, I think the Giants, again, have an opportunity very early in the year to do some good things. They have some favorable matchups here. They could make some hay and get to a good start, like 7-3 or 7-4. But those last 6 games have the potential to be their downfall this year. Like and subscribe, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.